Welcome to the 9 News Prep Rally.
Good morning, everyone. Call me an optimist, but here is the good news. No high school sports have been canceled yet. And that is because CHSAA came out with its decision on Tuesday to push all but 4 high school sports for fall back into 2021. And that, of course, does mean football as well in the spring. Now, a lot of the fall sport coaches, they are pretty optimistic, but they do still have their concerns.
It's a bittersweet week as 4 sports get the green light to proceed for fall, but only 4 sports. It'll be 2021 before we see the rest.
And the key thing that I keep telling them is be flexible and adaptable.
Kent Denver field hockey coach Kathy James doubles as an epidemiologist. She has her own questions about the upcoming seasons.
You know, the big question that I have as an epidemiologist that has very little answers as of right now, because the only way to answer it is time, and that is what is the long-term effects of being exposed and infected. We just don't know. Many of the decision makers don't have the opportunities to address all the details in the time that is needed. That's why we're seeing postponements to allow for that time. And I'm hesitant to say yes or no, this is right, this is wrong. And that's why that adaptability is the important aspect.
1, 2, 3! And adaptability will pay dividends for multi-sport athletes who will be facing some extra overlap with a 4-quadrant schedule.
Wearing both my parent hat and my coach hat, I have 2 boys that are 3-sport athletes. That's going to be a long January through June. It's doable. It will be tiring though.
Let's go get this thing done. Let's go.
Mullen football coach Jeremy Bennett had a pretty optimistic view of the postponement, except when it directly affected his kids' futures.
That's the part that hurts, right? That's the part that we can't fix. You can't look at a senior in the eyes who maybe an FCS school said, hey, we want to evaluate your first 2 games. Those games aren't going to be there by the time they sign, right? So, but we do the best we can, and we love them up, and we make sure that they know we're working hard for them, and we leverage our relationships.
Some student athletes will opt for the club sport route to have better exposure. Broomfield soccer coach Jim Davidson understands that reality.
We will be able to find some balance where the kids will compete in both the high school realm and the club realm. But I do believe there are going to be some clubs that are going to probably force the issue on kids and make them choose between one or the other. And there may be kids in our program that opt for the club.
That's a reigning state championship team that still has a lot of questions about its future. But one thing remains constant.
We always value relationships over results, and so we're going to really need to focus this year on just building relationships.
And each one of these coaches is up for the challenge.
Let's go! Life hands us and deals us adversity consistently, and it really shows our true character on how we push through that and make the best of it.
Hey, we are all in this together. And here's a message of hope from former Wiggins High School standout Dalton Reisner. The Broncos offensive guard said he wishes football returns safely and on time in the spring so that he can continue to cheer his hometown team on from the sidelines.
I was really bummed. I love going back and watching Wiggins football games, and I get into it, and I'm slapping hands before the game. You'd think I was a coach, man. I love it so much. So it's really unfortunate, but, I'm there for them, and we got to stay strong. I know that there's a lot of guys trying to get scholarships and, make their way to play college football or really just have those memories that we got to have.
Golf was the first sport of the 2021 season to get clearance to begin, and it teed off this week with a few tournaments. Some others will wait until next week. Golden senior Grayson Flamburis said that they all have a responsibility to prove they're staying safe out there.
I think that we should prioritize health because sports obviously aren't the forefront of what's happening in the world right now. There's so many issues and things that we should be talking about and working on. I think high school sports are a great way for kids to get out and, find their character and be better people, but it should be safe. You should not be risking anybody or putting anybody in danger. I think it's a sport at the end of the day, and you still can go home and be a good person.
Hey, I'm starting the Flamburis for Class President campaign. What types of questions or concerns do you guys have out there about the adjusted schedule? We would love to hear from you. Hit us up at sports9news.com or find us on social media.